I'm definitely gonna try to throw one in this video when I edit it, but it is so funny watching people like chant overrated, and the next pitch is just like a 400-foot ball.
Hello everybody, welcome back to 450 Dead Center channel. Chris here with Daniel. Oh. And we are talking about the draft this year because Jays have quite a low pick, but there's a lot of former MLB Suns in the draft this year, which is kind of cool. And as a Jays fan, we have a lot of former MLB Suns on our team. So yeah, it's cool things to talk about.
It's the perfect tie-in. Plus, I think this draft's kind of stacked, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than last year's draft because
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, there was a few guys. I mean, I think, well, who was in the draft? Jack Leiter was in the draft last year, and then there was a few other good dudes. But, you know, yeah, there's a few dudes. Marcelo Mayer, he's really good. Or Max Mayer?
Yeah, that draft is so long ago, I can barely remember anyone in it.
Honestly, I remember the 2019 draft more.
I was going to say, I remember the 2019 way more. Anyhow.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going into this. We're going to talk about the draft here. We're going to talk about the MLB's former Suns in the draft, and then we're also going to talk about who the Jays should pick.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, cool. So let's go take a look at the mock #1 right now. I mean, personally, I would put Drew Jones, you know, Andrew Jones' son, but apparently it's Brooks Lee, shortstop right now.
I mean, he's like, how do I explain him? Because I've seen a lot of people talk about like draft stuff, and it's kind of like 1 to 4 is all like interchangeable. So it's like Drew Jones, Brooks Lee, Elijah Green, and Tamar Johnson.
Looks like Tamar, yeah.
Tamar. I've never seen that name in my life, but all 4 of them are like really interchangeable from what I've heard. I like Drew Jones the best. A, because Andrew Jones is kid, but B, if you ever seen the videos of him on Instagram, like silencing like hecklers, it's hilarious, and he smashes the ball.
Really? Okay, I haven't seen those videos, but I could go look.
You haven't seen? Oh, no. I will. I'm definitely gonna try to throw one in this video when I edit it, but it is so funny watching people like chant overrated, and the next pitch is just like a 400-foot bomb.
I mean, that usually happens, and that's the best way to silence the haters, which is pretty good. I haven't really heard much of Elijah Green, but he's projected to go 3rd overall to the Rangers, so I assume he's pretty good.
I think he's one of, like, I should mention, all 4 of those guys are all high school bats that I mentioned.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Usually you see like at least 1 college guy in the top 2, but
I think a lot of these guys have like Drew Jones, they have like the 5 tools. They just kind of need to polish. I know Brooks Lee is basically the same thing. He has the 5 tools. He just needs to polish. I'm pretty sure he's like a Trey Turner comparison.
Yeah, I expect them to be unpolished, as like you said, they are coming out of high school. They're maximum 18 years old, basically. So they're all young boys.
Am I reading this wrong, or is Brooks Lee out of the college?
Brooks Lee? Maybe he is. I don't know. Is Cal Poly a college? Or who's Cal Poly? I don't know what that is.
I thought he was a high school guy.
I thought they were all high school guys too.
That's what I thought that was the whole thing with this draft. With the first 4 were all high school, and oh, never mind. He is in college.
Oh. Okay.
So ignore that statement.
So that is probably why he's going. He was projected to be 1st overall because he's a more complete project. And the Orioles are ending. Maybe they're nearing the end of their rebuild. So
which would make sense. But then again, I mean, they already have a couple shortstops that in their system. Like I liked Anthony Servideo that they picked a couple years ago from Old Miss. Like I would take Drew Jones, right, who is a center fielder, or Elijah Green, another outfielder. Like these guys, they're going to take a little bit, but they'll be complete players when they come up. I mean, unless they're trying to fast track it, but
they shouldn't fast track them. Anyway, let's get down more into this draft.
Let's move on to the guy we've been talking a lot about, Drew Jones here. And this is who they're projecting him to go to the Diamondbacks, which is #2. This is according to MLB draft rankings or mock draft rankings. But like I said, Drew Jones I think he's the real deal, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, literally this mock draft says Andrew Jones is the best player on the board. So
yeah. Then again, I don't know why they don't have him going 1, but I think he is the best player on this board, and he is, like I said, he's gonna be a stud. He's gonna be like his dad, I think.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good player, and I mean, I'd rather him be on the Diamondbacks than the Orioles anyway. So
I agree.
Good job.
I mean, if you jump all the way down in this mock draft, Chris, #5, Jackson Holiday. That's one of the other.
Is that Matt Holiday's son?
Yes, yeah. Matt Holiday's kid. They have him going to the Nationals here.
Hmm.
And from what I've seen, Jackson's kind of like jumped around the board really quick. I think at one point he was like 10 earlier on in the year. Then he went up all the way to like 3, and now he's sitting at 5.
You know, I would absolutely love it if he dropped to 10. You know, he can go to the Colorado Rockies, you know, where his
That
dad
would be
played.
jokes.
That would
That
be
would be
really
jokes.
cool. I doubt he'll drop to 10, but I think that would be really cool.
I mean, also kind of funny. He's a shortstop, and his dad was like an outfielder. So
It
just a
happens.
little.
I mean, Vlad Sr. was an outfielder, and Vladdy Jr. is a third base, first baseman. So.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to find the other uh son on here, but I don't see him.
He's
Let
probably in here. Jace Jung, is that
me control F. Oh, there he is. He's all the way at 29.
29? Okay, he fell a little bit then.
Yeah. Yeah, he did fall. So Justin Crawford, who's the son
Carl
of Carl
Crawford?
Crawford.
Carl Crawford's son.
And funny
Nice.
enough, he's predicted to go to the Rays, which was where Carl
Wow.
Crawford was.
What are the odds?
But I'm pretty sure from what I've been reading on him, he's basically his dad. Like he's a speedy contact guy
Nice.
who's gonna play great defense.
Yeah, that's cool. And I was just looking lower in this draft class, at where the Jays will be picking at 23. The pick above 22 is Kumar Rocker, no
Yes.
school, coming out of the
Yes.
draft.
This is what I wanted to talk about. So the Jays are the 23rd pick, and there's
Yeah.
a bunch of guys in this round that you could definitely see go. But Kumar Rocker's a very interesting one that we've talked about a little bit last year during the draft. But I mean, the Mets picked him. He didn't sign with the Mets for whatever reason.
He's not going to get as much money now if he resigns.
Exactly. So I think wherever he gets picked, he's gonna sign for cheap. And honestly, the Jays could snag Kumar Rocker. That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious, and he's got so much potential. I don't know if he's a hothead necessarily, as you know, he didn't sign with the Mets
Yeah.
last year, and he's going to be getting less money if he goes around the 20 range this year. So maybe he won't sign. It would be his
He got
benefit
what,
if he signed.
10 last year to the Mets,
He
right?
went 10th last year to the Mets and
10th.
didn't sign.
Yeah.
That which was shocking. I don't know why the Mets why he didn't sign, but now he's
Well, a
going to
lot of people
drop.
are saying it was because of injuries, because I know he was coming off Tommy John.
Yeah.
But still, like even Gunnar Hoglund got signed and he had Tommy John. So I don't understand where the difference is between the two.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an ego thing, like we talked about. But I mean, Kamar Rocket, he's if you guys haven't seen this guy was like legit going into his freshman year and his sophomore year. I think his junior year kind of had a bad year, but he looks like Alek Manoah on the mound.
He does.
That's basically enough said.
And I'd be completely fine if he fell to the Jays. And speaking of the Jays, they are currently looking for, I believe this is a catcher, which I doubt will sign a catcher here, but they're saying we go for Malcolm Moore. He's out of high school.
I don't like it.
No.
I don't like it.
No,
there's
no way we're
I
picking
don't
a
know where
catcher.
he is on here. I don't even know if he's a projected top first, but Lucas Sims, Lance Sims, Lucas Sims. He was a
Sounds like guy's son.
pitcher from Mississippi State. This guy was disgusting in the College World Series, and I mean, you can never have enough pitching.
Exactly, and you know what the Jays don't need? Catching. So there's really no point the Jays pick a catcher. Hopefully Kumar drops to us. Honestly, I think some teams might take a risk on him above, but we'll see.
Like there's a bunch of teams ahead. I mean, like I could see the Braves taking a risk.
I could see the Phillies.
Someone like Phillies, Reds, Cleveland. I feel like would definitely steal him.
I would say the Mets, but I doubt they go through that route again and losing their first round draft pick. So yeah.
But I mean, before we end this, I was just gonna say, if you're the Jays, if you're Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, what positions are you looking at here for the draft for the Jays?
So first thing I'm looking at is starting pitching. That is very important. Second thing, honestly, I'd go for outfield because you don't know how long Teoscar and Gurriel are going to stay on the team, and you don't want Zimmer and Tapia being in the outfield there, though we could sign people. Next, just more pitching. Like, we don't need infield. We don't really need first base. We really don't need catching. So, first pitching and outfield.
I agree with you. I think the Jays are. I mean, it's a good way to start off. You said pitching. Like, you can never have enough pitching in the MLB. If you look at teams like the Dodgers and the Braves and like Nationals when they won the World Series, they had at least 12 solid pitchers. You know what I mean? Like they had a full thing of pitchers.
Yeah, and of guys that you can trust as well. Because right now we can't trust Kikuchi. Yeah. Right now Barrios is hit and miss. Right now Stripling is our 5 guys. So it's not looking good.
Yeah. And I like how you said take an outfielder because we don't have any outfield prospects really.
We don't. No,
Like
we don't have
we
any.
have outfield prospects, but we don't have any solid outfield prospects.
Like we would have outfield prospects that could replace the Tapia and Zimmer
Yes.
production, which
Yes.
they do. I mean, Zimmer doesn't do much, but Tapia's been fine. So
But we need outfield prospects to replace like the Teoscar and Lourdes production eventually. Because
hmm
let's be real, I don't think they'll sign. I mean, maybe one of them does, but it'd be really hard to work the money to get both of them.
yeah, and I've been hearing rumors of Teoscar trades rumbling ever so slightly,
Yeah.
or things of Teoscar not re-signing. So maybe we'll pick up an outfielder in the offseason, but if we don't, then who's gonna replace him?
Exactly. And obviously keep in mind when we're saying this, it's gonna be a couple years for them to get up. I would expect these guys,
hmm
probably the first rounders, to probably hit the MLB by 2025, right? 3 years in the minors,
Yeah,
probably
probably
twenty-four,
depends how
twenty
fast they
twenty-five.
develop. They could do a
Yeah,
Kirk and just go straight from A ball to MLB, but
yeah, Kirk's a legend though. That's what it is.
exactly.
The other thing I was gonna ask you is, do you prefer the Jays to take a high school player or a college player?
For pitching, I'd say college, but then for if we're going for a bat, I'd just say doesn't really matter. Go for somebody young, more time to develop them.
I kind of hold the belief that if you go to college, you come out as a more complete guy.
Well, yeah, that's you have what
Like I
three,
like
four
the
more years to
college
develop.
people a lot more over the high school guys because they've handled an intense workload.
hmm
And not to mention, like, I'm sure the high school kids had an intense workload too. But when you're going to a D1 school like Vanderbilt and you're playing baseball and you still have to keep your grades up because, like, from what I've heard, they'll kick you off if you don't do well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of these D1 schools are like really big on grades. I think it sets you up for the MLB routine a little bit more. I think it helps you get to the workload a little bit better because let's be real, when you get to the MLB, you're basically doing baseball 24/7,
Which is awesome.
which is awesome, which comes with a lot of responsibility, right?
hmm
Like you can't be like Pablo Sandoval and just put on 40 pounds all of a sudden.
Legend.
Legend. You gotta be like Santi and put on a ton of muscle. But yeah, that's my opinion. I don't know. I'd like to see them take some college guys this year.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'd be okay with that. Plus, they tend to get up in the MLB a little bit quicker unless your name's Juan Soto. So yeah, we'll go with that.
Exactly.
So I think that's a good time to wrap up this video. Those are our thoughts on the draft so far, and maybe there'll be more mock draft content coming up soon. And with that being said, guys, see you next time. Goodbye.